Mm, yeah, it's on the YouTube. One time for my niggas, two times for my Nagas. It's your main man, Daddy Shiva, back in this bitch again with a very special presentation for the people. Of course, I ain't on cam because this shit ain't about me today. It's about metaphysics of the hood from niggas to Nagas by yours truly. It's the Exo Moon, Zolani Moon. What's up, family?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? Chat. Hit me up in the live chat. I want to know how y'all doing. Let's get this thing popping.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got a
I'm about
great
to
list.
retweet the link a little bit. Let niggas know we live on the thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Let everybody know. Just
Yeah, yeah.
mass message. Get as many people on this thing as we
I
can.
definitely want hella people on this because this is going to be an important webinar series because I think the main issue with, what I'm saying, the black community that we see today is the fact that we don't know just how magical we are. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was super hyped that you wanted to really tackle this topic and really take it and, break it down into all its constituent parts because it's really important that we see just how much magic we still practice unknowingly, unconsciously, so that way we can begin to take these things back and really utilize them as conscious tools and mechanisms to get our power.
Right. Exactly. I'm with that
Mhm.
100%. 100%. Yeah, so family, like I said, I don't know if any of y'all got to see the little preview video that I sent out, but this is the Metaphysics of the Hood, part one, from niggas to Naga. All right, so I stated, just forgot that it was magic. So one thing that I really, really want to focus on for this live stream is language, particularly Ebonics, right? So if y'all been paying attention to anything that this man has been doing since shit, let's see. Me personally, I think I followed him back in 2016. And when I actually put my ego in the place that it needed to be and actually surrendered to my heart and actually started to not even necessarily do what he was talking about, but do what I needed to do according to the things that he was referring to. Because it still is very subjective. You got to keep that in mind.
Very
Well, yeah,
much.
doing all of that, my whole entire world changed. You feel me? I just came back from Canada. You know what I'm saying? I was out there for 6 months. Had a little entrepreneurial thing going on out there. You know what I'm saying? Professionally painting and whatnot. So I'm proud of that because really spoke on was a message to the divine masculine, and that was a message to everybody because we all have masculine and feminine, as we know, right? So
It's wild
this
that you bring
video,
that up. That's one of my favorite joints that I actually made. You see what I'm saying? I still love that video to this day.
no doubt, it's crazy because when you had that video, it felt like you was personally talking to me
Mm.
because of an experience that I had just had right before you made that video. So that was very very personal to me because the same exact message came through. So I'm like, all right, somebody else has gotten this message. Can't possibly be the only one. But if y'all been paying attention to any of the tantric videos they've been doing a great job on that. And y'all really, really, really need to be soaking in that information and also learning how to apply that. Got to give a big shout out to them first and foremost for allowing me to be on that platform. Very proud of myself for doing it because I just want to let y'all know I hit him up with this whole thing completed. Everything, all the notes I had, all the sources, everything. I hit him up with this done. I say, if I'm going to do this, it's only right to reach out to my brother to make this thing happen. So I'm not going to jibber jabber too long. I'm trying to pull up this PowerPoint right here. But yeah, make sure y'all cash at me. My link is in my bio on my Twitter at Zolani Moon. That is XOLANI_Moon. Yeah, y'all hit me up on there. I
Yeah,
got this
definitely.
interview.
After we stream this, I'll definitely make sure the link is in the description box so that way everyone can hit you up. Support the homie, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the reason I put him on the platform. I want y'all to really get familiar with his work. Obviously, I fuck with his work. Obviously, I don't see me fucking with too many other people work. So Definitely patronize the homie, you know what I'm saying? Share the coins with the man. He's definitely, yo, like he said, he came to me with this shit done. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me say, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Cause it was just like the fire and the passion was already there. So I didn't even have to add no extra nothing. I was just like, yo, I'm just come in, let you do your thing. I'll add my little commentary and you just take this shit away, man. So make sure y'all hit him up. I'm gonna have the link in the description. Might even have this shit. Matter of fact, you keep talking. I'm gonna handle the description stuff, get that ready, and we be good. But yeah, definitely make sure y'all hit him up. I'm pretty sure. Are you selling the PowerPoint? Do you want that to be a free joint? I don't really know how you feel about that.
It's an interesting thing. You know, I was only going to sell it because I was up for quite some time putting it together for y'all.
Right.
To remind before we went live, like, yo, I added, there is almost a YouTube link on almost every slide, you know? So I'm saying stuff, and if y'all watching this live stream, anything that I say might go over y'all head, or something that y'all got questions about, something y'all want to learn more about, everything is in this. All right, I put work in. Y'all can ask my lady; she knows. What is it? 2 days in a row now, staying up straight. 2 days in a row straight, no sleep, doing what I gotta do. Yeah, making sure I put this together for y'all. Like, I already know this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, and that's the realest thing. It's like we already have this shit in the back of our head all the time, so we definitely want to make sure y'all get it. But of course, young niggas gotta eat too. Can't be starving out here.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I was only gonna make it what 20.
Yeah,
So
that's all right.
one,
That's an
you know,
amazing price, G.
go ahead.
I said that's an amazing price, my G.
No doubt. Yeah, it's what almost 70 slides, I think.
Yeesh.
It's a little, you know, it's a husky thing right there, but it's filled with amazing knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You got Brother Panic in there, Phil Valentine, City Hampton, Red Pill, Blue Pill. Who else is in there? Bobby Hemmett, I believe. I got a couple of videos of him in there. By the way, I also on my YouTube page, Zolani Moon, I have a Metaphysics of the Hood playlist. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of those videos are in the PowerPoint. However, most of them are not. Y'all check that out. I put that together too. I probably watched about 80% of those videos, and there's about 34 in there, and they not short videos. You know, I think the shortest video is like 6 minutes. The longest one is, I think, around almost 5 hours. You know, so I really been working with this. I've been really putting this thing together for a while. I feel as though if I was to take a step back and look at it, me being on this journey, being aware of this journey that I'm on, I say about 3 years. So I've been putting this information together for about 3 years, on top of the 24 that I have on this earth, just kind of making sense of it all, you know? So the Metaphysics of the Hood PDF book list will be on sale. Link is in my bio. Y'all hit me up. It's $10. Y'all getting 10 books for $10. All right. The PowerPoint, that's going to be up there as well. All right, y'all cop that, $20. Over 60 slides filled with great information. Y'all make sure y'all cop that. It's for y'all. So let me get into this thing now.
Description, so you all good, my G. Everyone, you can check the description box. It's right there. Make sure y'all fuck with that. It's right there.
I appreciate that, big dog.
No sweat, no sweat.
All right, so the Metaphysics of the Hood is a series coding the perpetuated stigmas and stereotypes of and within our culture. I will introduce both efficient techniques and practical methods in which we can use to access deeper levels of our psyche and really begin to experience the magic of the moon by exploring the divine feminine and demystifying the propaganda surrounding the fear of death and occult symbolism. Here in this first segment, I will expound on language, the origin and alchemy of Ebonics, and the future of communication. I will demonstrate its influence in music via the gospel of hip hop and explore the power of spoken word as well as the role writing plays in this ever-growing digital age. Our generation is not only the divine spark to what is shaping up to be the 21st century Renaissance, but we are the first generation to live out the legendary new myth, and what better time to share this message than in tourist season. The overall purpose of this segment is to bring awareness to our words so they become conscious of themselves. We have the power to speak things into existence, and I think it's wise to bring forth some potent information on how we use language to master our reality by bypassing the babbling of Babylon. That's a lot right there to say. But pretty much what it's about is we hear about how these languages are spells. We need to become aware of the words that we're utilizing, because when y'all look at just some of the different definitions that these words have, you realize some of us not really having the same conversation, right? I'll get into etymology and I'll get into all of that, right? But I really, really want to speak to those of us who grew up being Black in America. This video is for y'all more than anybody else. Not to say I don't care about nobody else, but this is for y'all, okay? I done really weave together some crazy conclusions, and I feel as though I done figured out what's really going on here. Why we here, how the fuck we got here, how we get back. You know, I know how to decode the whole entire thing, and I'm gonna be doing that in this live stream. So I definitely want to give y'all a big shout out for tuning in and joining us. Big shout out to Mama Kali, Daddy Shiva, you already know, fam out here. Who else? Gotta definitely give a big shout out to my wife, Tatiana. Huge inspiration in my life. That woman has, honestly, she helped me be here right now today by telling me to go for it. I was so in my head about this shit before I hit you up, bro. Before I hit you up, I was like, man, should I even do this? Like, nobody's probably paying attention. Nobody probably cared. No, a lot of doubt. I say, you know what, fuck it. Let me just go ahead and hit my guy up, you know, which is very interesting. Little backstory. This man told me last tourist season that he had a space lined up at the table for me. I said, hey, let me take that. Also, today is a milestone, because this time last year I was getting out the hospital for a drug overdose. So trust me, all this shit that's going on now with the drugs and everything that we see attacking us right now, so to speak, I done been through that shit. I've been through the fire, for real, literally, through the darkest depths of my psyche, and I've been able to accept that shit, been able to make the amends that I need to make. And hey, I'm here to not only kind of share my story, but give y'all some insight so that y'all can be able to do the same thing for yourselves, for your family, for those that y'all care about, and most importantly, like I said, for yourself. All right, so what is language? We got communication, but let's speak about what language really is. So language is the method of human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of the use of words in a structured and conventional way. The system of communication used by a particular community or country, a system of symbols and rules for writing programs or algorithms. That's the one I like to go with. A system of symbols and rules for writing programs or algorithms. By now, you already know that your universe, matrix, all that kind of stuff, ones and zeros. We're going to be breaking down how fundamental this actually is and how we utilize this in each and every day of our life. All right. And going into etymology, the word language comes from the Latin word lingua, which means tongue. Keep in mind that this word lingua is also synonymous with the word lingam, which is a phallus, which is the same thing as a pencil or a pen. That's why both of them both start with pen, just like the word penis starts with pen, it's P-E-N. Then you got the P-I-N, you know, that you can pen the locate. All of that shit is the same thing. They did the same thing with the obelisk. An obelisk is a pen. It's a map, and we didn't put the symbol on the map like we playing GTA or something. That's what we're dealing with here. It's all encoded within the language, and we do this each and every day. All right, so the art of language. Language arts is the study and improvement of the art of language. Traditionally, the primary divisions in language arts are literature and language, where language in this case refers to both linguistics and specific languages. Language arts instruction typically consists of some mix of the components of reading, writing, composition, speaking, and listening. In schools, language arts is taught alongside science, math, and social studies. So those are the 4 core subjects right there. You got language arts, or English class, science, math, social studies. Keep that in mind, because There's a particular curriculum, as we know of now, in the United States, but very, very particular script that they're following for a very, very particular agenda, and I'm going to decode it. So y'all stay tuned with this. It's going to warm up a little slow. I just want to get some definitions out of the way, and then after that, we're going to have fun. We're going to rock out. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to get the definitions out of the way so that when I'm speaking, y'all know where I'm coming from when I'm saying these words, because they're going to hit y'all in ways that y'all probably have not discovered yet. All right, so we got language processing. So we got language arts, we got language processing. So that refers to the way humans use words to communicate ideas and feelings, and how such communications are processed and understood. Thus, it is how the brain creates and understands language. It is how the brain creates and understands language. This is a very, very interesting point, because later on we're going to discuss where this universal mind is located, or where, how can we access its influence, and all these different types of things. I pulled some cards, what was it, back in Pisces season. I got the Book of Doors divination deck. Pulled some cards, and everything that it was dealing with for all of spring was about traveling, about the exorcism of the mind. It was very mercurial, very, very mercurial. So I think it's very interesting with everything that's happening right now. Mainly men being under the spotlight. So that in the code of it all, representing that masculine aspect, that masculine mind aspect, you know? So there's a lot of distractions, as always. So just like Mercury is a traveler, it will help you out to travel your ass out of some of those situations that are draining your attention. You know what I'm saying? All right, so studies have shown that most of the language processing functions are carried out in the cerebral cortex. The essential functions of the cortical language. The essential function of the cortical language areas is symbolic representation. The essential function of the cortical language area is symbolic representation. So not only is most of the language processing functions carried out in the cerebral cortex, the essential function of it all is also dealing with symbolic representation, which Ramaja, I told y'all, I don't even remember what video it was now, but he told y'all to get into understanding symbolic language that is dealing with the yin realm. That's more right brain. I'm left-handed, so I'm naturally right brain. So I kind of was born into this. And as we continue to go through this information, I'll kind of explain to y'all who I am and how I've been able to decode that through the symbolism that we see, which is some very, very prevalent symbolism that we got going on here. All right, so even though language exists in different forms, all of them are based on symbolic representation, which is a fact, because think about it. Any written language, because you got, mind you, you got spoken language, you got shit. Let me back it up. You got thoughts, then you have speech, and then you have the writing. The writing would be the physical manifestation, or the tangible manifestation, or the two-dimensional imprint of a thought. You know, so any time that you are writing a language, it is a symbol. Every letter, every glyph is a symbol, every single one of them. What I want to do in this live stream is teach y'all how to not see it so linearly. You know, we'll get into that. It's a real fun exercise, and I want y'all to be able to walk with me as I do this. This is not just me up here just talking to y'all. Nah, this is going to be an interactive thing. You feel me? So I really wish that I would have had the PowerPoint done before this, so y'all can kind of follow along with that as well. But nonetheless, y'all still gonna cop that though, because it's fire. All right. Wernicke's area is the region of the brain that is important for language development. It is located in the temporal lobe on the left side of the brain and is responsible for the comprehension of speech, while Broca's area is related to the production of speech. So you got two different parts of the brain, one for the comprehension of it and one for the production of this speech. Both are very important. I think most people nowadays should focus more on the comprehension part. That's why we're doing this whole live stream, so we can become aware of the words that we're utilizing, not just on a definition level, but on a etymological level as well. because that's just as important, if not more important. I'd say it's actually more important to know the origin of these words rather than the definition that we are given this shit. All right, so linguistics. Mind you, there go that whole word, like lingua, lingum. You got the kind of lingus, all that kind of stuff. This is all intertwined in there, which is actually, I'm happy to be doing this, right? Because there has been so much demonization of the divine feminine, and I'm not rocking with that. You know, I came in, obviously, like a lot of people, on the whole religion tip and the whole dogma of that entire thing. And at a young age, I kind of was not rocking with that. But, you know, the remnants of it had stayed with me until I started to learn how to actually read the symbolism for what it was and actually tune into my femininity a lot more, tune into my intuition. I'm a Cancer moon. So any of y'all that really rock with the tropical astrology, boom, Cancer moon, Aries sun. Those are two very, very prevalent symbols that are in the occult. You got Aman. We'll get into what he is and what he represents, and then we will talk about the capstone or the stone that the builder refused and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that as well. But linguistics, the scientific study of language and its structure, including the study of morphology, syntax, phonetics, and semantics. Since linguistics is such a widespread field of study, for the purpose of this webinar, we will focus on a few components of linguistics, such as morphology and phonetics. Linguistics is probably one of the most vast subjects that there are. There is so many different parts to linguistics because there are so many different languages. There's at least 14 to 15 different language families, right? So imagine a room, and in this room, there's a group of people, and then those group of people split up all over the world. It kind of sound like what they was talking about in the story of the Tower of Babel. But within the root language, there are many, many other languages. Some of them have as many as over 1,000 different languages within that one language family. You know, not to mention all the slang, not to mention all the different dialects from the different regions within a particular state or province or country or something like that. This shit is way more vast than any numbers that they give us on the internet. I want y'all to also keep that in mind. Any number that these motherfuckers is giving us on the internet, and they're giving us estimates and giving us approximate accounts, the numbers are probably either way lower than that or way higher than that. Y'all sift through the BS and figure it out. So morphology. Morphology is the study of words, how they are formed, and the relationship to other words in the same language. Morphology analyzes the structure of words and parts of words, such as stems, root words, prefixes, and suffixes. A lot of this is kind of like elementary stuff, but that's exactly where we got to go with this. A lot has happened. Let's see. We start the year off with a full moon, got smacked with so many moons. Like this is the year of the moon, basically, that we're in right now. There's so much going on right now. I know we just got hit with that full moon in Scorpio. I know, Kylie, what you got your Scorpio moon, right? So boom, I know you feeling this. My God, Ramaj with the Taurus moon. I know you feeling this just in general. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Scorpio for it. I fucks with that energy. Very, very heavy. Very, 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 very heavy. But yeah, there's a lot that has been going on in the last year. And it's very interesting because I know for myself personally, a year from today, I was kind of shitting my pants a little bit because I had the truth revealed to me at such a deep level, and I wasn't ready for that. But the funny thing is, how can you really be ready for something that is always expanding? You know what I'm saying? My guy did I don't know if y'all caught the solar eclipse webinar, but when he did that solar eclipse webinar for Leo, make sure y'all grab that, all right? Make sure y'all grab that. I watched that shit multiple times. That was my go-to video over the summer. I didn't really sleep over the summer. you know, because of what happened in the hospital. I'll get into that story a little because it's very, very important. But yeah, that was my go-to video. It's only been about 8 months since he's dropped that video, and boy, oh boy, we are finally seeing the sprouting of the first seed, you know, and it is manifesting beautifully, very, very beautifully. Because everything that he said in that webinar, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I had the spiritual experience of what he talking about, and I can confirm he ain't lying. All right, let me just say that he's not lying. Just like he said, he told, you know, some other, you know, some fellas that he was the what you say, the pure manifestation of divine masculine. They kind of shit on you. I kind of was one of those people in a weird way. It wasn't really about him. It was like, I don't know, man. Can I really go with this guy? I don't know, man. But just being back and forth like that, and did it to myself. Like when he said, y'all be careful when y'all saying his name, because, you know, because of his ancestors and whatnot. I ain't never talked reckless on his name, but I definitely didn't come correct at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really dealing with him. It was just me trying to make sense of some things that was happening to me, and a little bit of projection. You know what I'm saying? I can honestly say, yeah, I didn't voice no opinions to him through Twitter, but I definitely was triggered many times. I was the one that was silent. I was a nigga that was crying in the fucking corner. Like, damn, everything he's saying is hitting me. I gotta work. I got some work to do. Boy, I got some work to do. Dali Mama, if you on this right now, shout out to you, sister, because yo, the whole Bad and Bruja podcast set everything off for me. Set everything off for me. Because let me tell you, I was really on some wildness. Really on some wildness. Was not taking care of myself in the way that I needed to take care of myself. And the Bad and Bruja podcast definitely helped me out and helped me see where it was that I was heading and where it is that I want to be. And I made a whole 180. So we good. We Gucci on that. I want to give you a big shout out because that is definitely important for y'all to tune into that. Make sure y'all hop on that SoundCloud, Bad and Bruja. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check out shit since we having this whole Purple Flood. Definitely check out the Purple Rain androgyny episode. That was fire. Check out the Twin Flame episode. The Money Magic one was lit. I mean, shit, every single one of them was, but I'm just saying my favorite ones in particular. The one about the yoni and the womb, that was a great one. Great one. I took a lot of notes on that one. But yeah, without going too far into all of that, right? Because I'm fucking excited. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of like not really fanboying or nothing like that, but I'm fucking hyped right now. I'm excited because I'm living in my truth. You know what I'm saying? I always say, yo, I'm gonna collab with this guy one day. I don't know when it's gonna be, but I'm gonna collab with him. And I honestly just took it upon myself to just kind of put myself on the damn platform in a certain sense, because it is me that reached out to him to do it. And it was me that put the work in and stayed up, you know what I'm saying? Even went to some pretty dark places within my mind to even bring some of this information forth. So I'm fucking excited right now. And if y'all know what time it is right now, y'all should be excited too. If y'all really figured out what we're doing here and what we have on our hands, y'all should be fucking excited. Like Panic said, y'all should be shitting your pants. Real talk though. All right, let me get back into this thing. Phonetics is the branch of linguistics that studies the sounds of human speech. It is concerned with the physical properties of speech sounds or signs, their physiological production, acoustic properties, auditory perception, and neurophysiological status. All these big words. Phonology, on the other hand, is concerned with the abstract grammatical characterization of systems of sounds or signs. And then you have spelling, which is very, very synonymous with morphology, because you have the word morph, which means to form. And when you're spelling a word, you are forming a word. I'm gonna get very specific on a process that is happening that would actually help you kind of bypass the conscious mind so that you can get these messages to the subconscious mind a lot quicker. And a lot of it has to do with deprogramming how we were taught to read English or speak English. We were taught this in a very, very specific way, and I'll get into that. But spelling is a process of writing letters in the correct sequence in order to form a word. So spelling is also the same thing as coding. You know, with all these computer hackers now, which they have black hats and white hats, black hat hackers, black hat hackers and white hat hackers. Those who protect the system and those who go against the system. Y'all can probably guess which one is fucking which at this point, right? But Bill Gates, what's his name? Zuckerberg, they're examples of white hat hackers. Come on, don't think they are doing all that shit and they don't know how to code no program at all. Come on. So spelling is the same process as coding, as writing computer software. If y'all really getting into understanding how this language works, which if y'all don't, great, because we're going to be explaining it. But it's the same exact thing as coding because you have to put it in the correct sequence. That's the same thing as a Rubik's Cube. There's a particular algorithm that you have to utilize in order to put those things in the correct sequence. You know, even when you're saying mantras, for instance, and that's based on the seed sounds connecting. If you don't pronounce those things right, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you probably fuck yourself up because mantras open you up into other worlds, other realms, other dimensions. Go ahead and fuck around and say one of them wrong if you want to. But then again, we have to also take into account what way are we saying any of these words and how are they affecting our environment, our internal environment, which we know is gonna have a profound effect on the outer environment. As a matter of fact, our inner dialogue has a lot to do with what our habits are. And our habits happen in our habitat because that is where our habits are at. Y'all peep game with this language, right? I said your habitat is where your habits are at. That's why they're calling it a habitat. It's where your habits are at. Your habits are also hobbits because y'all gonna get to a point where y'all gonna play around with these vowels and shit and figure out, wait, these are really actually the same words. We just switching vowels and trying to act like they're not the same. I don't know why we playing this game. It must stop though, okay? Because that shit kind of not funny. Y'all really peep what's going on because we crossing ourselves up, crisscrossing ourselves the fuck up, for real. Even if any of y'all, you know, y'all into the more science, then y'all really know about this language, you know what I'm saying? In these legalese and all that type of shit, you know? Y'all really know about that. So I gotta bring this knowledge out. Like I said,
I just want to make a quick little.
Go ahead, bro.
I just want to make a quick little point about something that I found in my research is the fact that all vowels are actually the same sound at different frequencies. A, yow, it's all one word. It's all one sound. You see what I'm saying? The switching of a vowel doesn't actually change the word. It just changes the frequency that that word exists at. So I just want to say that real quick and let you continue.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's right in alignment. It's funny because I go into that, you know what I'm saying, on the PowerPoint. So it's already there. A lot of everything you're going to say, either I have it in here or I was going to bring it up in my personal notes, you know, so it's right there, bro. All right, let me get back to this. All right. So we got spelling, right? I got that down. And then you got different types of spelling or different types of processes that utilize spelling. So you got invocation, which means to call upon, or to give rise to. And then summoning is synonymous with invocation. You know, to summon is to bring to the surface from within oneself. To summon is to bring to the surface from within oneself, which is very interesting because I'm pretty sure that is exactly what sigil magic is all about. Creating a symbol, right? Which, by the way, is produced from your subconscious, right? And then your conscious mind is filtering it. And then in the process of creating this filter or the sigil, you get rid of all the vowels just so it can bypass your fucking conscious mind again, right? And then it gets and it reaches there into the subconscious. And then if you have made a connection, you know, if the intonation is right, if you're you know, speaking this out loud, you know, if you just did it right, then it's kind of like an echo or a reverb, which is very important because music is life, and y'all start to see some of these effects that they're using in the music it will give you, how can I put this? It will open up another gateway to a different type of knowledge. And you understand how they're utilizing these instruments, because it's all based on a particular integer. You know, like you got a positive and a negative, right? And then you got all the different varying degrees or integers in between, both this way and this way. This is all symbolism that we gotta definitely discuss in this, you know. Yeah, so to summon is to call an image to mind, to kindle or light, spark, arouse, or inspire. I'm just jumping to it right now. I think they still got Will Smith playing the genie in Aladdin. Great. No, they probably like, how you going to get a black dude to play the genie and we know it's Robin Williams? That's fine. That's fine. It's all dandy. It's cool. Remember that Robin Williams played Pan, and keep Pan in the back of your head because you're going to bring that back up, right? Also, the reason why the genie is blue. The reason why the genie is blue is because he has melanin. That's why he's blue. The same reason why the Gross sisters on the Proud Family are blue is because they have melanin in their dark skin. They're actually closer to like a blue-black or a purplish hue. They're like that. But clearly, if we make them purple, niggas gonna know that they're black. If we make them black, the actual color black, then people gonna know they're black, and they might get complaints about blackface and all that type of shit. So it's a way to sneak that past everybody. Make them blue. Make them blue. How I know that the blue is the melanin, I got a link for y'all. I can send that to y'all actually, as a matter of fact. But Erykah Badu, right? She said something very, very interesting in the song The Healer, which y'all should all listen to that song. This is a great time to listen to that song. She says in there, they call you indigo, we call you Africa. All right, so the indigos and the stars, he's not melanin, all right? Melanin, okay? Melanin. Melanin. All right? We're going to be getting into some sacred symbols. I'm going to tell you all about the swastika right now because I can't wait until we get to some other stuff. I'm going to tell y'all right now. All right? The Aryans are niggas, okay? Niggas. All right? I got it. Why they niggas? Read about what Blavatsky said. She said that the Aryan race is a group of beings who go from brownish to like this brown, copperish, black color to creamy white. I mean, who's the only people on the planet that even have that type of skin color? You can't say white folks because creamy white is milk, my nigga. That is definitely albino folk. That is not no white person. I don't understand where y'all going with that, all right? So the Aryans are actually black. All right. Mars is a god of war. We got that. But Aries, as in Ares, Aries is also a god of war. Yes, they are one and the same. But if Aries is a god of war, then the Aryans would technically have to be gods of war. But when Hitler came and actually usurped the knowledge about what that really is, and took the swastika and ran around with it, and then y'all see the whole unfolding of that entire thing with the killmonger type shit, warmonger and all that type shit. Y'all see it, right? The swastika is a very, very ancient symbol. Very ancient symbol. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to advocate for this because we understand where people is at as a collective. But niggas, y'all should be walking around wearing a swastika proudly. 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 All right? Proudly. Because, number one, it was used in Jainism way before Hitler. It was used in Hinduism and all that, all the like Tibetan and all that stuff out there in like East Asia and everything. All of that stuff was there. It was all there. They got it written all over, just like the Buddhas out there is black. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these countries, a lot of these deities that now in this country are whitewashed are black over there. They're black, meaning like they're made out of probably onyx or something like that. And if y'all know anything about the architecture and stuff, they only made you the color that you actually were. So if they made you black, best believe it's because the nigga was dark skinned. It's not pink and we making them orange. That don't make no sense. Right? Don't make no sense. And there's also an alchemical aspect to all of those things as well. But not to get too far into all of that stuff. Like I said, the swastika is actually melanin. I have it in the book. I don't have the book right here, right next to me, but if y'all cop, what's it called? The African Origins of Electromagnetism. They show you right in there that pretty much this I believe it's a melanin cell, maybe the molecular structure of the melanin. It was in a particular form and it actually made the shape of a swastika. You know, if y'all understand what a halo is, all right, boom. A halo is the same thing as a swastika, and it's the same thing as a pentagram because there are 72-degree angles. There are 5 72-degree angles in a pentagram, which makes a 360-degree, you know, whole geometrical structure and all that kind of stuff, right? So all 3 of those symbols are the same. A square is even the same because it has 4 right angles. 4 times 90 is 360, all right? So every single one of those symbols are the same thing. But watch us go out in the world and 4 different groups of people use those symbols and all of them be fighting. This makes no fucking sense, okay? This makes no sense. At the root of it, they're the same thing. At the root of it, all the language is the same, all right? At the root of it, we all actually speak in the same language to each other. We just not conscious of the words we're using because all of this is happening through breath, all right? The language we speak in is breath. That's what we, all right, that's what we speak, all right? So a language family is a group of languages related through descent from a common ancestral language or parental language called the proto-language. Ethnologue is an annual publication that provides statistics on living languages around the world. The language family tree model displays language families as branches and designates a leaf to represent the subdivision of languages within that family. I'll just read a few of the language families to y'all, but you got the Niger Congo, which is the largest language family that we know of, right? That we know of, because there's 8 billion people in the world, so that we know of. The Niger Congo has within it over 1,500 different languages, right? So you got the branch of it, you got the tree, right? You got the branch of the tree. Niger Congo would be a branch on that tree. All the different leaves on that branch would be the 1,500 or so different languages that they have. And that goes for every single language family. Every language family is a branch. The subdivisions of languages inside of them would be the leaves, which that's also a very interesting diagram because that's kind of like the same thing that they do in masonry when they attribute, let's see, like they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. So when you're looking at a house, and a great movie that breaks this down, I know I kind of jumped around a little bit, but a great movie that breaks this down is Monster House. They show you right in there, they show you that, that the house or the temple is constructed after the human body. That's a fact. That is a fact. So it actually, if you want to learn about the temple, you want to learn about what goes on in the temple, it makes sense to learn about it happening inside and not go to a lodge or a church for somebody who, I don't think they could really truly help you out with that, right? They're only going to give you what they're scripted to say, which if y'all seen the fucking new Jumanji, that's exactly what a lot of this shit is like, okay? If y'all on this live stream right now, great fucking job, all right? I appreciate y'all for spending some time to rock out with us today, all right? Because I'm not gonna say everyone else that's not, but for those that have not quite grasped a lot of this yet, they're kind of looking like the character in the new Jumanji where they're in the Jeep and he just say one thing the whole time because that's all his program say, just one thing. Just like I forget what video it was, but Red Pill talked about how people are on code. So when something happens, like a Bill Cosby incident or like a Kanye, there is people that are on code that no matter what, when this algorithm goes through the internet and they read that language as Kanye West says blah, 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 or this person says blah, 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 they're on code. They snap to this cadence and go where that shit is corresponding to, all right? So y'all can avoid all of that hassle by understanding the words that you're utilizing. Understanding the words, you have to understand the etymology, the different definitions that they have. You have to also understand the different ways you can move these words around into different words, which are called anagrams. I'll be talking about that here shortly. But the common ancestor of English, Latin, Greek, Russian, Gaelic, Hindi, and many other languages spoken in Europe and India is known as Proto-Indo-European, whereas the more recent common ancestor of just English, German, Dutch, Norwegian, and the other Germanic languages is known as Proto-Germanic. So what we have as English today is actually stemming from the Proto-Germanic language family, right? And y'all can check out the Nordic runes. Y'all can check out the Elder Futhark runes. That's Futhark, Futhark. Check those out. Runes is definitely, I know Destiny has talked about runes before as far as divination goes. They're fucking wavy. I just found out about like geomancy and shit. Like, yo, y'all should look at how they have these things that they use for geomancy. And honestly, it looks exactly like dominoes. So I'm like, hold up, let me find out that when niggas is playing dominoes, we actually doing geomancy. Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? When we playing spades or poker and all that is called like I think sleight of hand or slate of hand, something like that. But that was actually a form of magic that was practiced in the Renaissance. Honestly, like I said, our generation, y'all understanding what is going on right now, especially with hip hop and all that. There was about to be a rebirth. I remember back in the day, over 10 years ago, Queen Latifah was on the BET Awards and she gave some type of poem, but she said the revolution would not be televised. All right? It's happening right inside you every single day. You're living it. You know what I'm saying? You're living this shit. So I'm just here to bring the knowledge out about, yo, how to make this fun, how to make it wavy. Let's stop worrying. You know what I'm saying? That worrying shit is not gonna get us nowhere, all right? Especially as the African diaspora, that is not getting us nowhere, all right? You gotta be proactive, but not in a reactionary way, okay? Because that's another level of the game, getting your ass to react, because you got your energy invested in a certain word. So anytime somebody say that word or a series of those words, you're triggered. Go ahead and figure out why that is. You know, my guy has been telling y'all about epigenetics for a while. Pretty much epigenetics talks about how your environment, your outer environment influences your genetics. You know, this can be seen as an analogy. I remember y'all were talking about the whole emptying the cup aspect, and some niggas got water in the cup that's kind of dirty and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is kind of like one of those analogies in there as well. But yeah, like I was saying, Elder Futhark, definitely get into what those are. This is the oldest form of the Runic alphabets. So runes are kind of like, when we were younger and we did tally marks, runes are kind of like those, making languages from that. And I'm glad that we learned that system as children, because just with the tally mark, you can do every single letter, both uppercase and lowercase in the English alphabet, and you can do every single number with that. Just with a 1. You're gonna say, how are you gonna do that? Okay, think about what A is. It's a 1 this way, it's a 1 this way, and it's a 1 this way. And then they're gonna say that A is 1. When in fact, A is sure enough 3. Think about how they fucking up the whole thing with attributing numbers to the language or to the letters. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole number system that is corresponding to this that actually didn't exist until a motherfucker named Pythagoras came around and started doing that shit with Pope Sixtus and all the rest of them. All of this is significantly intertwined into the 1260 time frequency that a lot of us are on. You know, we should be making that shift into the 1320 of the Mayans and whatnot. Definitely check out that Mayan astrology for sure. That shit is definitely wavy. Don't let my man just be retweeting all of this and y'all ain't checking it out. I make sure personally that I check every single one out. There's probably maybe 3 out of everything that he's done that I have not seen the whole way through. But everything else, I watch them so I can compare my notes. Because the whole time he on Twitter talking his shit, come up with the same exact thing without even have to speak to him. When Sarah, Alien Here to Love, when she doing her thing, when Destiny out there doing her thing, when Cindy out there doing her thing, Sophia out there doing her thing, I'm out here having the same exact thoughts. I might not say it in those words, and as a matter of fact, I feel like y'all got a really interesting way of putting words sometimes, you know, which helps me out because as a life path number 3, I'm all about, yes, creative expression, but through communication. So they say that's the communicator. So I want to commune and cater. You see how you gotta break these words down, not just whole word, but commune and cater. That's the communicator, the one who is able to commune and cater, or cater to people with my words so that we can commune in whatever, you know, just whatever. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? You can run with that whatever way you want to go. Break that shit down, whatever way you want to go. Keep in mind that I just said break it down. Mind you, from nigga to naga is all about a process of alchemy, all right, where we deprogram from the wasp paradigm and we re-upload all of our ancient software. You know what I'm saying? All of our knowledge of self. But in order to gain full knowledge of self, because here's the thing, whoever said, oh yeah, I just want a little bit of knowledge of self, nigga, it's all or nothing. Either you're going to get all of this knowledge of self or you ain't going to get shit, all right? That's how it's going to go. That's how I still gotta come concise and very clear with this, all right? Very, very clear. So we not making no mistake about it. There's a particular agenda that's going on with this live stream. What is it? To help your black ass become aware of the words that you use so you can start casting your spells to get yourself up out of the fucking predicament that you're in. Black man, black woman, I'm talking to y'all. All right? I done been going in for about 3 years on this information. You can ask my wife, staying up late ass nights, getting no sleep. And I was working 4 a.m. and you know what I'm saying, 4 in the morning, getting up, going to work. You know what I'm saying, working 2-3 jobs at sometimes. You know what I'm saying, still come home and find a way to watch something, to read something, to do whatever it was that I needed to do to gain this knowledge of who the fuck I am. And honestly, a lot of it happened through being able to read the symbolism and interpret the symbolism. You know what I'm saying? And also communicate back. They always show you in these alien movies that these niggas are communicating through the cereal and shit. Like, jeez, we eat fucking cereal for breakfast, but there's also a such thing as a serial killer and a serial number. So it seems as though this language thing is kind of serious. I just love playing around. For those of y'all that got the joke, shout out to y'all. For y'all that don't, y'all learn about it. All right, so back to the Elder Futhark. It was a writing system used by Germanic tribes for Northwest Germanic dialects in the migration period. Its inscriptions are found on artifacts, including jewelry, amulets, tools, weapons, and rune stones. So they was writing on jewelry, they was writing on amulets, tools, all of that. That's kind of everything that we do now today. Mind you, like he said, we didn't lose the magic. We just forgot that it was magic. So we gotta remember this again, all right? And I'll be here because this is my mission. I done stepped into who I am. Like I said, on Twitter, I call myself the Sacred Scribe. That's because that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? On some Dr. Strange shit, protecting the archives from the archons. All right, I'm gonna stop playing with this fucking language. It's just too funny. All right. In Scandinavia, in the late 8th century, the script was simplified to the younger Futhark. And the Anglo-Saxons and Fristons extended the Futhark, which eventually became the Anglo-Saxon Futhark. So I'm pretty sure that Daddy Shiva has been talking about the WASP paradigm, white Anglo-Saxon patriarchy, for a very long time. And here we are, the language that we utilize every fucking day, coming from the very paradigm that we are here to liberate ourselves from. Like I said, there is a fucking agenda, okay? Black man, black woman, let's liberate ourselves, okay? Because all motherfuckers seem to be doing these days is taking the knowledge of yourself and then lording or mastering over you with it, like it's some type of monkey in the middle game. And then that's why they say, all right, I'm gonna surround you in this white picket fence. You're gonna be on my porch, you monkey, and we keeping this truth away from you. That's how they playing it. That's how they looking at it. Facts. That's how they looking at it. Just through the language alone, you'll figure out. That's what they talking about. What did Joey Badass say? We all fit the description of what did he say, with the documents written or whatever. however you say that line, it's the fact, it's the truth. Everybody's talking about you. You're in every classroom. You're the first thing on everybody's mind. Like, if y'all really understanding who you are, then yes, everybody's here to see you. You're the main event. That's why all eyes are on you. Yes, you're the main event. Yes. Don't take that and make yourself the victim, and now you getting ate the fuck up and other type of shit like that. Don't do that. You gotta stand on top of that. All right. Okay. You gotta stand on top of that. Let's just say it that way. Master your emotions. Okay. Master your emotions. And we're going to be talking about how to master the emotions by teaching you the process of how to deprogram what these words even mean. Because once you figure out what the word even means, and then you start to speak in a sensical way. I don't even know if sensical is a word, but I'm going to say sensical, all right? In a sensical way, a way that makes sense. Once you speak it back to you, be like, so I got offended because somebody said that I wasn't shit. Like, if I tell y'all, every single one of y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. And I say it like that, you're like, oh, he said I ain't shit. But last time I checked, shit comes out of somebody's asshole. So it's like either I call you an asshole or I say you the shit. You gotta figure out how this whole thing is working. And the alchemy comes in understanding what shit is. And like they said, you can turn that shit into fertilizer. Hello. Y'all see how it's working here now. Just in the language, everyone's saying, I'm the shit, I'm the shit, I'm the shit, I'm the shit. So you wanna be waste. You wanna be wasted. That's like some GTA shit for real. Like a nigga getting chased by the cops, wasted. Niggas swimming because niggas don't swim. Swimming in the fucking water, wasted. Like, what kind of shit is this? Going to the fucking club and getting white boy wasted. I got a poem that I have wrote. High out of my mind on acid, right? High out of my mind on acid. I wrote this poem. And I was saying, your little May chicks and Mayflix got you caught up in a maze of amusement called the Matrix. Jack in her box and I'm popping out the oven. Back at you like McLovin. Now we going clubbing. But before we leave, give Pandora her ring back before she call her husband. Or has been, because he ain't never been with a dad been. And while y'all dabbing for a thrill, it get real cryptic, bro. You should chill. All right? Because niggas is going to the club. Let me break that down for y'all. Niggas is going to the club. Last time I checked, a club is a weapon that you use to beat somebody or bludgeon somebody to death with. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure niggas play GTA. Y'all know what a club is. Y'all know what a club is. I know y'all was walking with CJ or Tony or one of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And you walk up, oh, is that a golf club? It sure is. Why do they call it a golf club? All right. So we understand what the club is now, right? Pandora, we know about Pandora's box. And then opening the box and letting all the horrors of the world, you know, come into fruition or whatever, which is some disrespectful ass shit to the divine feminine, because they, you know, try to call the things that come out of her box horrors of the world. What kind of, you mean horror, like the horrors of the, I get it. Then they give you the whole horror Babylon thing, but now we got this whole ushering in of the respect for the divine horror, and even embodying that by understanding what the fuck that even is. But your ass won't get there if you can't even figure out what words you're using, okay? So let me get back to this thing. The Proto-Canaanite script, later known as the Phoenician alphabet. Phoenician is where we get the word phonetics from. Phoenician, phonetics, what's the word? Phoenix, that all comes from the same thing, right? But the Phoenician alphabet is the first fully phonemic script. So those are about phonemes, like the way that you pronounce words and all that kind of stuff, right? Thus, the Phoenician alphabet is considered to be the first alphabet. The Phoenician alphabet is the ancestor of most modern alphabets, including Arabic, Greek, Latin, Cyrillic, Hebrew, and possibly Brahmic. An alphabet is a script that represents both vowels and consonants as letters equally. In this narrow sense of the word, the first true alphabet was the Greek alphabet, which was developed on the basis of the earlier Phoenician alphabet. So I believe that even Phoenician comes from possibly Hebrew and all of the like cuneiform and stuff out there. And then, sorry, not Hebrew, what's it, like the proto Semitic languages, which is dealing with like Egypt and whatnot, because we know that what's called the Septuagint, just kind of like it's the Greek Bible, so to speak. It's written in Koine Greek, which shout out to Shaka Amos, right? He was saying that Koine Greek is actually a mix between both the Egyptian language or the Medo Neter, right, and then Greek. It's kind of like a mix in between, which I'm trying to figure out how the fuck that's even possible, because those are two totally different systems, talking about two totally different things, right? Like I said, niggas didn't just walk in there and just take this shit and leave. There was a process of what happened. And the more you figure out who you are, you'll probably start to laugh at this process, realizing that it's been your ass the whole time. You ain't got no enemies, bro. It's just you. Look in the mirror, some shit like that, you know? Ain't nobody chasing you, bro. You mean the white people that you put there because you said you was God? All right. You said the story that they keep scaring your ass with, and you put it there. You put it there. If you won this call right now, you put it there. You wouldn't be talking to me otherwise. All right, so let's move on to anagrams. An anagram is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase, typically using all the original letters exactly once. For example, the word anagram can be rearranged to Naga Ram. The word evil becomes the word live. It also becomes the word veil, and also becomes the word vile, like a vial, kind of like how Yzma gave Cusco. Shout out that color purple. The word Ebonics becomes sonic ebb, like the ebb and flow, sonic ebb. Santa becomes Satan. The word note becomes tone. Lake becomes kale. Tide becomes diet. Earth becomes heart. So on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? These anagrams. You know what I'm saying? Just play around with the words. So you got. There's many things that are happening. You have the thoughts. Let's start there. You got the thoughts, or the thought, the tahuti, right? And then you got the speech, which is the verbalization of that thought, which is very interesting because the word and the verb and the logos are all the same word, because the word logos is like Greek for word, you know what I'm saying? And then verb, it's an action word pretty much, you know what I'm saying? So those are all like the same thing. Yeah, so you got the definition of these words, you got the etymology of these words, you got the different ways that you can play around with the anagrams, and then on top of that, you got something else that's happening where it's like you can start to look at these letters outside of the scope of how we were taught English. You know what I'm saying? And I'll get into this because this is very, very important, because one of the ways on how we're gonna figure out and come to the realization of the words that we're utilizing, or the magic that is just here, just within us. You know what I'm saying? One of the ways we're gonna do that is by understanding all of these different ways that the language is working. We gotta understand that way. We have to. All right. So a homophone is a word that is pronounced the same as other words but differs in meaning. A homophone may also differ in spelling. So you got there. I don't know if y'all copped that spell casting 101. Definitely copped that. I grabbed it. I was up while doing this PowerPoint, listening to it the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Ran through it quite a few times just so I can really kind of, understand what's happening here, because everything has happened in alignment. Because let me explain to y'all what the hood even is. The hood, that's where we came from. We grew up in the hood. Shout out to the hood, that's who raised me, right? And I said this in the video before. The hood is a place of residence, right? And inside the hood is the ghetto. I'll tell y'all further on in this presentation why that whole thing was given to us, us being the ghetto. Like, knowing that the ghetto started in the Jewish Holocaust, but somehow that gets, pointed towards us, all right? So kind of lost my train of thought just a little. Oh yeah, the hood, right? It's a place of residence. When we are looking at the yoni, which they give symbolism of a cobra, and a cobra has a hood. Matter of fact, when you make a yoni mudra, if y'all can see into this negative space, That is without a doubt a cobra. This is also clearly a uterus. You can see it, you know? It's right there and there. Michael Jackson does the Yoni Mudra in the You Rock My World video. Y'all go watch that video, decode that video. Chris Brown does it in the Zero video. Y'all go and decode that video too. Because shit, like this man started, you know, he's showing the blue Kachina in there. You know what I'm saying? In the Zero video, he got the Jimi Hendrix liquor in the background, because you know we got this whole purple rain, purple flood coming through. We had Jimi Hendrix, then we had Prince, and then now we got Future Hendrix, and y'all need to pay attention because there's a reason why Future Hendrix is there. Because there's a gateway that is open there too. You know what I'm saying? And when we say gateway, let me not make it spooky for motherfuckers, right? Gateway just means there's gonna be information that's coming through that's gonna, because you've never seen this anywhere before, it's gonna cause you to see things in a different lens, a different scope, from a different angle or angel, so to speak, right? So yeah, go fuck with them angels out there. Go fuck with them demons too. They're the same thing. Anyways, let me tell y'all that. Just as a little sidebar, they even said you have to name all of the angels and all of the demons that correspond to every single one of them angels. If y'all really understand what's going on, right? Because you exist on every single level, you actually exist on every level. Clearly, there would have to be an entity that is you on that level, right? Because, for instance, a square is a two-dimensional representation of a cube. So, I mean, what's the two-dimensional representation of us? Something that these motherfuckers are calling a signature, which has the word sign in there. So I'm teaching you how to look at the signs, how to read the sign. You know what I'm saying? Because the sign in being able to name both of the angels and the demons is they cancel out, because you got positive, negative, and neutral, right? They cancel each other out. This is the same process as looking in the mirror. This is the same thing motherfuckers is calling shadow work. And all you're actually doing is removing the attachment that you have to the personality based on traumas. Boom, right there. I just decoded the whole thing. There you go. There you go. It's just quite that simple, but it's complex when you start to actually get in there and do the work, because you realize you attach to shit you didn't even know you was fucking attached to. Crazy how the thing works, because of the language is embedded so deep in the consciousness. They've been warming y'all up, telling y'all about the sigils. Ramaz did a whole blog post on the sigils, which is hilarious, because I'm like, yo, he posted it on Twitter actually, and then made a smart ass business move and said, you know what, let me start to publish these things. You know, because he actually started to listen to what he was even saying in the message of the divine masculine. I seen the way these niggas moving business wise. Like, hey, y'all might wanna come fuck with y'all boy. All right, real talk. All right, so yeah, that's that right there. They show you the shadow where they show you in the movie The Never Ending Story, when you gotta pass all them different gates. Those are different levels of initiation or levels of awareness. And I said that awareness is the catalyst to initiation, because the initiation is the awareness, but it's more like gnosis, like where you experience it. You know what I'm saying? What we understand as awareness, because you're aware that you're experiencing it. But even on that next level, that awareness goes away when you have a total dissolution of the conscious mind. Totally, you're not even aware. You black out. It's a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Whole different type of experience when you really tap into it. And you can do it just by words, just from words. All right, so etymology. Universal language of power. Etymology is the study of the history of words, their origins, and how their form and meaning have changed over time. We are taught to understand English words based on their definition, not their etymology. That's important. So for instance, we are taught that mortgage is, oh yeah, these monthly payments I pay on my house. All right, we got that. Etymology is going to tell you something definitely different. So you got the Latin word mortis or mortus, meaning death. Shit, okay. And then the old French word gage, meaning pledge. So a mortgage is a death pledge. Go ahead and read Black's Law Dictionary and just start looking at some of the definition of those legal words, because even the legal words got a totally like side definition from the shit you'll find on the dictionary and in the etymology. These motherfuckers have created a whole nother side link. I said, that's what these niggas is doing, and they call it a court system or a judicial system. Well, how about y'all manifest this motherfucker that calls himself the sacred scribe, aka Tahuti, aka his words don't even take effect unless he's in Ma'at, which are the scales of justice, the real judicial system to really put this motherfucker back in order. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see how this whole thing is happening now? This is in the language. It's in the language. And hopefully by me continuing to talk, y'all can start to see how vast this language is. So like I said, if they have created their own language, how about we do it? Matter of fact, oh shit, we already did. It's called Ebonics. But they try to tell your ass that you had to speak a certain way. You had to speak a certain way to be accepted. So not only did they take you from your original knowledge, then you created another language. It took you from your original language, created another language. Somehow they moved your ass off of that one too when you was trying to, be in the corporate world and shit. No, come on, man. There's real power in our words, and we're here now making this shit happen. You know what I'm saying? We the ones still on Twitter every single day, scrolling and tapping as if that's not a 1 and a 0, as if we're not coding. All right? Yeah, y'all get that? The way that we utilize the touchscreen is based on a sliding motion, which is a 1, and a tap, which is a 0 or a dot. The English language, in one of the, sorry, let me slow down a little bit. I'm excited. In the Metaphysics of the Hood PDF book list, I have a book called The Esoteric Structure of the Alphabet. Y'all definitely cop that book list and check out that book, because it explains how the English language, and this is a very, very interesting discussion, because now we start to dive a little bit more into the occult, right? But this language is based off of the line in the dot, or the serpent in the egg, the lingam and the yoni. So in the language is actually sex. That's why sex sells. You get it? Because like when you have sex with somebody, or when you produce something with somebody, or create something with somebody, right? You have the most basic level, and they're calling it an atom, and then like within that, which is the foundation, the building block. You got this atom, and you got the cells and everything like that. Sex sells because that's literally what it is. Sex is a cell. Like a cell. You used to call me on my cell phone because I know what happens when that hotline blinks, right? You got that kind of cell, right? Told to you by the 6th guy himself. Shout out Scorpios, right? Because he's a Scorpio. He's a Scorpio, right? I think he's a Scorpio, shit. Then you also got the word sail, like sailing out. Shout out Jenny Aiko, right? You also got the word sail, like at my bake sale, yeah, right? And then you got like also that's the past tense, or kind of almost like a past tense type of thing of the word sell, like with the S. So you got with sell with a C, you got sell with an S. All the same word. They're the same word. No. Oh my God, like, yo, it's the same word. We cannot keep playing this game, right? We cannot keep doing that. I know some of that's cracking up right now. All right, so yeah, Renaissance comes from the Middle French word renaisse or renaisse, which means to be born again. Apocalypse comes from the Greek word apocalyptein, which means to uncover or reveal. Interesting. Because they tell you that in Genesis that, first of all, they talk about the apocalypse in Genesis. Let me just say that. They talk about the apocalypse in Genesis. Before, like, in the beginning, they talk about the end. The beginning and end are the same fucking thing, because you realize the entry point and the exit point are the same exact thing. If y'all really understand the geometry and how we're utilizing this language, if I have a circle, the feminine, and she just moving in the circle, this is a disc. This is why you got the DJ on the turntable, you know what I'm saying, mixing it up the same way that you would use your 2 fingers and do what you got to do. The same thing that Jesus was sitting there like that. All the same thing, right? But I'm out here losing my train of thought, bro. I guess they don't want me to tell y'all what I had to tell you. Oh shit! Wow. All right. Let me. I jumped too far on that one, I guess. All right. Yeah. So if you understand the geometry, you got the circle, and then you put the needle or the point on the circle. This is the same thing as a solar system diagram that we get, because think about what that disc would be, right? You got the disc or the vinyl. I'm talking about a vinyl disc, by the way, and they got all them different grooves in there. Think about those as different planetary orbits and whatnot. Every time you put that needle on there, that's a different, it's a whole different orbit. You know what I'm saying? You can fuck around like that, real talk. And that's how you realize the sounds that we're saying is actually some divine music, and it takes you tuning it to the perfect frequency or the correct frequency to really peep what's going on here. You know? On that next level, I was talking to my wife about this. If you have a line, right? You draw it two-dimensionally on a piece of paper, you got a line. If you took the three-dimensional representation, which would be a cylinder, you realize a cylinder from head on, it kind of looks like a straight line, but from the top, it's a circle, it's a tube. This is interesting because now we can jump into the whole internet thing. Like Jaden Smith said, the internet exists, you idiot, man, we figured this. Human consciousness shifting plate to the continents. Facts, just like that, just in the words, just in the words. Just in the words, all right? Just in the words that we're utilizing. It's all in here. I know I'm jumping around. Y'all be patient with me. All right. So this next thing, the Grimoire Reaper. We have the symbolism of the Grim Reaper, this death angel that gets associated with Saturn and Satan and Boogeyman and all that scary shit that's not scary at all when you actually look at the etymology of the word. So a lot of the Disney movies, this is important because, like I said, Black folks, I'm talking to y'all. We were programmed a very specific way. And if anybody paid attention to how we were programmed, it's like, no matter what, no matter where you come from, the same series of things happen. It's like, we made sure we got your ass with this. We don't get you with the fluoride, we're definitely getting you with this over here, with the Ebola, some shit, All right, so a lot of the Disney stories come from the Grimm brothers' tales. A lot of that is a lot of dark shit, scary, spooky shit. Brother Panic has a video and he's talking about this. He talks about H.P. Lovecraft and how he talks about all those different monsters and what the monster actually is and whatnot. He said that they write it spooky, and this is actually a level of initiation, right? They write it spooky so that if your ass is scared, you ain't meant to even have that knowledge. Because we cannot have scared motherfuckers running around with this type of knowledge, because we clearly see what's happening now with motherfuckers that want to have an entire nuclear war. They want to blow everything up. Like we playing a nice game of chess and you got a motherfucking mad as shit and he going to smack the whole game off the table. Like, wow, okay. That's what these niggas are talking about doing. So just so y'all know, with all that martial law shit and all that dumbass propaganda that they keep on feeding, it's not working, right? I'm gonna tell y'all how. Just a little side note, because this actually is important. To even write anything, you need a stylus or some type of instrument, a tool, right? And it actually is representing the phallic energy. That Martian energy, that martial energy is masculine energy, right? Martial law is just Martian law, the law of Mars, the law of war, or the art of war. You know, I said this on Twitter, how to be tactful, how to move. This is, how do I play chess? That's all it is. How do I play chess? If you peep game with martial law, they said that it would be, what's the boy's name? I think Charles Manson was talking about some shit called Helter Skelter, right? And the Beatles have a song called Helter Skelter. And he's just talking about like the This is what Pythagoras calls a table of opposites. This is that right, wrong, left, right, blah, blah, blah. That whole thing. In the lodge of Freemasonry, you see the checkerboard and all. Oh, this is all that shit. Helter Skelter is supposedly going to be pretty much like this event that's going to happen where pretty much black folks and white folks are going to be, you know, fighting and warring each other, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, we got to get these niggas out of here because they're acting too crazy." Then they talk about the King Alfred plan and Rex '84 and all that shit that Ronald Reagan signed and all. That's all that kind of stuff, right? That's how they're giving it to us through the martial law, like that. That's just the perfect time to tap back into what the fuck we was doing. See, homie came through with the Millie Rock. You know what I'm saying? That's militant rock. So that shows you right there within the dance. When done as a ritual, we are invoking those spirits. That now you can have a gun if you want. You're not fucking with a spirit. If I summon that spirit over here to smack the shit out of you, what you want? You want to pull a trigger on me? You know, now, I'm not saying y'all go in and do. I'm not saying that, but hey, that's how the Haitians beat the French, okay? And my guy Armand has been telling y'all this for a long time. You can't win this physical war with physical shit. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But like Panic said, you tap into yourself and we see the bullshit ritual they're going to do, and then we reverse the energy, then they're locked out. They can't get in. Get in where? Get into our fucking Central Intelligence. Do you understand they made a clone copy off of that? Calling it the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency? Do you understand like what the Central Intelligence Agency really actually is? I ain't talking about no system shit. I'm talking about us. Your corpus callosum is the Central Intelligence Agency. If you really peep and game with what's happening here, you know, it's the part or that bridge, the merger, the Bifrost bridge that they show in Thor Ragnarok, all that shit. Y'all peep game with KT the Arch Degree. He breaks down the Batman versus Superman movie. Y'all go watch that one. Yeah, he talking about Batman and Superman, but he talking about us at the same time. And he goes in on that video. Definitely helped me out with the whole, now we in Taurus season, with the whole Immortals thing that he was talking about, and how Immortals came out on 11/11/11. You know what I'm saying? Them 311s, that 33. Shout out Mama Kali, you know what I'm saying? We out here with it. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all, right? I'm going to have to climb a few degrees. Like I said, this train is warming up, but once it's there and I'm just freely, openly talking, we're going to have a lot of fun. I just got to get these definitions out the way first. Promise y'all we're going to have some fun. But a grimoire is a book of magical spells and invocations. Grimoire comes from the French word grammaire, which means grammar. So the Grim Reaper is actually the Gram Reaper. Either the grammar Nazi, right? Since niggas are scared of the fucking Reaper, so they run away from they don't like the grammar Nazi, right? Interesting, because we talking about Ebonics, grammar Nazi, the fucking grammar Nazi, right? Because on that next level, the Grim Reaper, if Grim is grammar, then you're reaping the grammar, you're reaping the spells, the benefit of the spells. You know what I'm saying? This is like, you are the Grim Reaper is what I'm trying to tell you. You're the Grimoire Reaper. Also, the Gram Reaper. I know some of y'all will want some grams of weed right now. Grams is something that you weigh on a scale, right? Peep game of how the drug talk is intricately woven into what we're doing and what we're learning about in ancient Kemet. It's intricately woven in there. I'm gonna tell you, them niggas said themselves, y'all need to figure this shit out. So I put someone like me here to talk to y'all so y'all can figure that one out. Hey, we really, really about to crack this shit wide open. Like they really, really don't understand what's really coming. They think they do, but they really don't. All right. So incantations, which means to chant, are a series of words said as a magical spell or charm. Inscriptions are words that are inscribed or engraved into a book or a monument. This is very important. One of the most used fonts that we see everywhere is the Helvetica font. And I have in the PowerPoint, the documentary, check out that Helvetica documentary. Almost every font that you see, FedEx, Kinko's, Target, all of that shit is in one font, the Helvetica font. When you start to really tap into the power of these words and the power of engraving and intention into something that is three-dimensional. You create a two-dimensional imprint of a thought that is very, very powerful. That's why it was Thoth that wrote the emerald tablets that you can't even destroy them. They're indestructible. Like my Ramaj, he told y'all a while ago, they're alchemically indestructible. Which means this nigga obviously was wavy with his words to be able to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like the Helvetica font is everywhere. I got the documentary on there. Make sure y'all grab that, check it out. The show. All right, so now we get to Tahuti. Pretty much the ibis or baboon-headed nature of wisdom, known as the master of divine words and sacred writings, the scribe of Ma'at, the scribe of the gods. Like I said earlier, his words, yeah, he nice, but he fancy and all that shit. But his words don't mean shit if they're not in Ma'at, or if they're not in truth, if they're not balanced, which pretty sure we had to see on both sides like Chanel to be able to figure out the double meanings of these words. Like, think about it. What happens if you hear a thought or you perceive something that is evil? Now, if we know that the word evil is lived backwards, what happens if you rearrange the order of the words that was in that sentence that you think was evil? You get a whole total different thing. Now you're doing alchemy, bro. Now you're creating an exorcism of the mind. But the full exorcism is going to come from when you actually let go of the energetic like charge that word is carrying when you hear it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of ladies, when they hear the word bitch, it's kind of like, damn, that's kind of like rough that you're saying it. But then when we understand what it is, I'm not saying go and call women. I'm not saying that, because clearly we understand that there are people that still take offense. I'm not endorsing nobody say that shit to nobody. But I just know that I'm looking at this shit from an observant perspective. And I'm telling you, hey, look into what these words mean. If y'all say men are dogs, then clearly that's unless you wouldn't be a woman, but then you wouldn't like for me to also simultaneously say that. But then when we use the word female, didn't like that one either, because of the intent, the perceived intent that was behind those words. It's not the word, it's the perceived intent behind the word. These words actually carry the very energy that we're utilizing to speak them. But it all depends on how aware you are of the words you're speaking. I know that just hit some of y'all right there, because I just directed my intent for it to be able to hit you. It just happens that way, right? It's mercurial, you know what I'm saying? That's some Prometheus shit, learning where to direct this so I can then cut it and shape it and form it and fashion it into a miraculous word, a marquee or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Tahuti is also known as Thoth or thought or thought. The thotties, yeah, shout out to y'all too, because that's the same word, right? All right. Also, you got the 9 Hermetic laws of the Kabbalion. Y'all check that one out. Check that out for sure. There's many videos out there on Hermeticism. Y'all check that shit out. He's also known as Hermes or Mercury, which is the ruler of Gemini. Shout out Gemini. Author of the Emerald Tablets, like we said, and is synonymous with Asclepius and yields the caduceus staff. Y'all talked about that one in the, I forget which video it was, but y'all just recently talked about that one. You know what I'm saying? And how he's pretty much carrying a staff that is the same symbol for healing that we see in the ambulance and all that shit. Like, yo, that's a real magical symbol. Let me tell y'all, very, very, very magical symbol. Very magical symbol. So for those of y'all that don't know, it is pretty much a staff that has a globe or a ball at the top. I'm just calling it a globe. I think that shit would be cool if it was a globe. It's kind of like a scrying globe or some shit, and then you got the wings that come out, and then you have the 2 serpents, Ida and Pingala, that they coil up this, referring to the way that that Shu and Tefnu actually operate. It also just talks about the way that your Kundalini is moving, and this is the same way that your words manifest here, the same exact way. It's a spiral. Mama Kali told y'all about the whole thing with spirals being very important to what's going on here, and what we're doing. Like straight up, this is a lot of phi-based geometry. Phi-based geometry, what is it? But Fibonacci sequence, golden spiral, all that shit, golden mean, all this music stuff. It's just math. Or ma'at. Math is ma'at. You know what I'm saying? All right, go. Next one. Fallen angel. This is my favorite one. Spoken language is the manifestation of thought. Writing is a tangible evidence of a thought. What we see as physical manifestations are merely just the formation of thoughts being tied together in random sequences, as well as a sequence in which they were thought. Graphite comes from the Greek word graphene, meaning to write. Writing is a magical process. The pen or pencil or stylus is the wand, directing the thoughts into a language. So, peep game. When y'all see the composer, the musical composer with the little wand, right? You're seeing some magic happen. This is just how they say sorcerers, or for instance, Solomon was able to command the daemons to he instructed the daemons to build the temple. This is the same exact process. Every single one of them correspond to a different chakra, and there's a seed sound to that chakra, right? Those seed sounds also correspond to the do, re, mi, and all that kind of stuff in the musical scale. You know what I'm saying? So all of this shit is intertwined. When you're seeing that composer up there moving around and doing all of that kind of stuff, think about it. If he calls on the woodwind section and they start playing their little thing, right? And you peep game on how the music is being built up, right? And because this is important, because they told you about neurocinematics, told you about how to utilize the music in the movies to correspond to a particular emotion that they want you to have for the purpose of creating that full effect of the whole entire film. You know what I'm saying? It's a science to it. So when you're seeing that composer do all those things, move all those different parts of those instruments, those are different aspects of his self. Peep game. Like I said, you got the language tree. You got a language family, which is a branch on that tree, and then the sub-languages being the leaves on that tree. So you have the brass section, or the woodwind section, right? The percussion section. Let's say you got like the cello, the violin, you know what I'm saying? Those you got the group, and then within that you got different aspects. The same way they tell you that the daemons have like, they rule over like 72 legions of daemons and stuff like that. All they're talking about is those are the different aspects of themselves. Like you got the whole thing, and you got the different ways to utilize it to accomplish something. That's exactly what the composer does. That's exactly what the sorcerer does. Y'all go watch Fantasia, the Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mickey Mouse. This nigga Walt Disney was supposedly a 33rd degree Freemason. So best believe he is putting all of the symbolism in these Disney movies. Go ahead and decode a lot of Disney movies, bro. It's ridiculous, especially with all the sexual symbolism that they was throwing in there, stuff that was slipping past your two eyes. I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up, this is not a fucking game, all right? With this neurocinemat, this is not a game, okay? How do I know? Let me just tell you. I was experimenting with LSD, right? For the purpose, and I'm not telling nobody to do this shit. Don't do what I fucking do, okay? So I did this for the purpose of conquering a particular fear, which had to do with like the whole Satan thing, right? So I would watch certain videos. I would watch like a lot of the hip hop videos that was going on, and I would see a whole entirely different story than what is being presented, what it looks like it's being presented. There is a whole, like, somehow, some way, these niggas have weaved in there the story of how the serpent tempted Eve in the garden. That is in every single music video. It's in every single song. It's in the songs. It's in the hymns. Understand what the hymns and these chants and stuff are before you start repeating a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why a lot of it's sticking. Y'all go listen to what James Todd said about what they do when they master these records. Y'all find out about that one. Cause it ain't no lie. For a long time, I figured out how the fuck can you conjure something into the music? And then I'm like, oh, because you got scribing, you got all these different ways that you can actually do that. And I'm gonna bring the knowledge out on just what that is and the power of actually engraving a thought into something. Like I said, I know I'm jumping around, but all of this is connected. Allow me to go through, then we're gonna have fun. We're gonna rock out with it later. Writing is a manifestation of Lucifer by way of what's called the third logos. This is the Holy Spirit that descends. This is now, we're talking about Gnosticism. We're talking about the Kabbalah. We ain't talking about Christian dogma, all right? We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about Gnosticism. We're talking about the true knowledge of what the fuck going on, okay? So writing is a manifestation of Lucifer by way of what's called the third logos. This is the Holy Spirit that descends. To cast means to make light or shadow appear on a surface. Knowing this, we can now begin to observe how we use our words, sigils, symbols to express our thoughts and bring them into manifestation by using the stylus or some other type of rod tool to engrave the thoughts. Through literature, word is made born. The speech is the evidence of that power being brought forth. And then writing it is what anchors it to this realm. So when they're talking about Satan falling from heaven like lightning, they're actually talking about the descent of the light from the limitless realm to the realm of the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Which is Malkuth, which is earth. So they're talking about the descent of the light through all the different realms. They're talking about how the fuck you got here. But they give it to you in the story and then show you symbolism and then give you a narrative and some propaganda to back it, to scare you off that whole fucking thing. So niggas running around scared of Satan, scared of Lucifer, but then I'll show you an element like phosphorus. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you something like ATP. You know what I'm saying? RNA and DNA and all that shit that's definitely linked with phosphorus. And you can't fucking have this experience without that element. Yet, you would see why they would keep trying to scare you off it. Think about it. If that name corresponds to a particular element that you need to live here, what do you think is happening if they scare you off of that word? What do you think is happening to your body? All right. Epigenetics. All right. Okay, so this next section is about like math and architecture, but I'm thinking about skipping over that one. Just know that mathematics comes from the Greek word mathema or mathema, meaning knowledge, study, or learning. And then architecture pretty much means the chief builder. And this is the process of the process and the product of planning, designing, constructing buildings or any other structures. Architectural works in the material form of buildings are often perceived as cultural symbols and as works of art. Geometry is a branch of mathematics concerned with questions of shape, size, relative position of figures, and the properties of space. Yo, I got hella links in there in this PowerPoint presentation that tells y'all all about mathematics and sacred geometry. Phil Valentine's in there. KT the Arch Degree is in there. You got a link about like the magic of numbers and whatnot. You definitely should check out. There's a video. It's called An Adventure in Color. I have the link in this thing too. But they show Donald Duck teaching sacred geometry. They showed this to little kids. Like, we've been doing this shit, okay? We've been doing this. We learned how to construct the words when we was young from tally marks. That's how we did it. We learned how to do it from that level, which, by the way, to construct the language and the numbers utilizing the tally mark system, what do I mean by that? Just literally just every line is a different part of the number or the letter, you know what I'm saying? By doing that, We have figured out the secret of what's going on here, straight up, on why the whole thing happened with Adam and Eve. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Eve was left open, defenseless, because she didn't have no masculine aspect there to utilize the discernment for her. That is the phallus. That is that. You know what I'm saying? That's that. There, it's erect and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? This is the architecture that they show you. Look at all the matriarchal countries, third world countries and shit like that, and then look at all the patriarchal first world countries and shit. A lot of buildings, a lot of skyscrapers, dicks everywhere is what I see. What the fuck, right? We just want to know where the kitty at, right? We just want to know. That's why I entitled this the Metaphysics of the Hood, because the yoni has a hood. The yoni is synonymous with the serpent. The great mother is synonymous with the serpent that they try to scare your ass from, which would only mean you're being scared away from yourself. If you are a nigga and you are afraid of snakes, and I'm not talking about when you see a physical snake, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying in the form of like occult symbolism and how they present it to you in religion, you're afraid of that, I'm telling you right now, you're definitely afraid of yourself. And if you want to get in your feelings about that, oh well, how about you go cry yourself somewhere, and then when you get done crying and you clear your tears so you can see clearly, take a look at your skin and tell me that shit don't look exactly like a serpent's skin. All right? Like I said, if you a nigga and you're scared of a snake or a serpent, you're scared of yourself. Last time that y'all did this shit to us, but we got to bring this knowledge out one more time, because people, look at your hair. Look at your hair. It's coiled, just like the serpent. This is in there. 9 ether hair. Oh shit, the 9 and then the 6 being like they're both the same number. You got the symbol of Cancer, you got the symbol of Pisces, you got, you know what I'm saying, yin and yang, all of that. All of this is sacred geometry. That's all that shit. It's all in there, intertwined. And if you want to know about the knowledge of Earth, think about it. If Earth is where you're trapped at, who would be the one that would befriend you so you can learn the knowledge on how to get yourself out of it? They call it the adversary. They said at worst, the serpent is an adversary to man. At worst, in its most degenerative state, it is an adversary to man. And what is it all the other time? I'll tell you right now, straight up, when they give you all the symbolism of Satan, they tell you all about the great red dragon, let's look at it like this right now. And this is actually going to be coinciding with the next live stream that we're doing about poverty consciousness and whatnot. But we know this whole situation is based on the sexual energy, which, by the way, that Lucifer energy, that's sexual energy as well. You got to be able to transmute that. You got to take this nigga from out of hell and put him back in heaven, straight up. You know what I'm saying? The same way they talk about how in the time and all that, the great red dragon and God are going to have a fight, they're going blah, 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 all that shit, right? The great red dragon is your kundalini in the root chakra position, coiled 3.5 times around the coccyx area. You know what I'm saying? All that in Mulan, because they say the money is the root of all evil, even though we know it's the love of the money being the root of all evil, right? But let's just stick with the money is the root of all evil. Well, money is the root because money is moolah, right? Money is moolah, as in the Muladhara chakra. Then you got the movie Mulan, right? Because don't they also show you Satan as Baphomet, this hermaphroditic, this Hermes and this Aphrodite type creature, the mind and the heart, actually. That's interesting. So then you got Mulan, woman, playing the role of the man. All right, so that shows you both principles right there. And then her best friend is the great red dragon, Mushu. Come on, fam. It's right there in the movie. Right there in the movie. All right. So going on to what is next. I got a bunch of pictures that I added in here. Yeah, I got pictures in here for y'all, and they're clear. They're high def, so you can see them. Definitely make sure y'all cop this PowerPoint for sure. I'm almost there, y'all. I'm about to rock out and have fun. All right. So color and sound. The power of sound was creation for ancient Egypt. The knowledge of this power of sound is central to all magical traditions. Sounds are ideals or impressions that convey words. Sound comes from thought. A tomb is said to have exclaimed, "Who when he projected himself into existence. In some stories and some accounts, they say that he ejaculated into existence. All the same shit, you understand it. But it's funny because, fellas, y'all can attest to this. I mean, when you go ahead and ejaculate, you, ooh, shit, boy, ooh. Yeah, you, okay, you are too ass nigga. All right, I'm done playing around. All right, sound comes from the Latin sub-unda, meaning underwave. Sound also comes from the Old Norse word sunda, which means swimming or strait. A strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two seas or two large areas of water. Another definition of sound is a narrow stretch of water forming an inlet or connecting two wider areas of water, such as two seas or a sea and a lake. So sound is water, basically. And they give it to you in the shape of an M, which is very important because that is the sine wave. That is also the serpent, or the way that the sun traverses across the ecliptic and all that shit for all the astrology folks out there. It's in there. All of that Bible stuff is decoded within astrology. The Bible is based off of astrology. Facts, that is everywhere. That is everywhere. We know this now. In physics, sound is a vibration that typically propagates as an audible wave of pressure through a transmission medium, such as a gas, liquid, or solid. The Kabbalion states, everything moves, nothing rests. In physics, this movement is vibration, and also vibration is an oscillation of the parts of a fluid or an elastic solid whose equilibrium has been disturbed. So this is when Ramaj was talking about the nomos being able to weave reality with their teeth. You know what I'm saying? When they spoke, that sound carried a particular wave that then pierced through a medium and created a certain geometrical structure. And then they began to, you know what I'm saying, do what they gotta do. Destiny hit y'all up with the tantric visualization. You can do the same exact thing. You do the same exact thing with your thoughts. Because you can think some shit and hear everything you're saying without your two ears. If that's not tantric visualization, if you understand, when you reach the sixth sense is more like a combination of all the other ones. So you can hear, see shit. Like the things that you hear, you can see. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. They got that, what's it called? Sound color, synesthesia, whatever that thing is called. When people, they hear a sound and they see a certain color. You know what I'm saying? That shit's wavy as fuck. They trying to give it some blanket term. But that's just when you have niggas tapped into who they are, to be honest with you. All right, so then I got this link about the law of rhythm, Brother Panic on there. I got some links about pendulums and whatnot. So I know y'all fuck with the pendulums and the chakras and all that kind of stuff. There are colors that correspond to each musical note. Each musical note is a seed sound that contains the energy to produce an entire world. This is when we begin to examine the power of spoken word via mantra, chant, psalm, hymn, canticle, etc. The seed sounds that correspond to the musical scale are also the same seed sounds that correspond to each chakra. These particular sounds are the 7 sounds of creation, 7 worlds of the cosmos. Check out Alim Bey, The Mathematics of Nigger. Don't not watch that video. I definitely need to watch that video. Every single black person here needs to watch that video for sure. For sure. Because the whole purpose of this, like we said, bring out the knowledge that will make you become aware of the fact that you never lost your magic. Nigga, phonetically, is the word Naga. And every other combination of that are they're the same words. A lot of those titles referring to like king or king serpent or priest king, like Ramaj was saying. Shout out to priesthood, you know what I'm saying? So all of those are very ancient words and they're actually very divine words. But see, what happened was when you don't stand in your power, you let motherfuckers run all over you. And then they use your word or they use your language and beat your ass and scare you away from using it. Come on, that's some crazy shit now. Brainwashing is heavy, bro. All right. So All right, the word is the vibration, and the worlds to come are the after effect of the vibration moving through a medium. Cymatics is the study of wave phenomena, especially sound and their visual representations. These visual representations are 2D and 3D imprints of a very ancient force, typically the surface of a plate, diaphragm, or membrane is vibrated, and regions of maximum and minimum displacement are made visible in a thin coating of particles, paste, or liquid. So all they're talking about is pretty much like there's something called a simoscope, and you put like sand or something on it, and then you play a certain frequency, and the whatever you placed on there will start to move and shape itself in the form of the frequency that's playing. You know what I'm saying? So the same exact thing is happening in your brain because you have water or liquid in your brain. So what do you think happens when you hear these words? Why do you think when you go to an opera, it's built like that? If y'all understand geometry, these shapes hold a particular vibration, and they are meant to do something. They're meant to do something very specific. You know what I'm saying? So in the architecture, that's why when you go into some of these church buildings, that's why the brainwashing and the propaganda and stuff like that is so heavy. A lot of it has to do with the dimensions of the temple that you're in and how the sound is echoing off of those words and reverbing back to you. Mind you, you have etheric bodies, so that shit is echoing through all of that. You know what I'm saying? Before it hits your physical body. It done hit all of that shit before it done went into your ear for you to even comprehend that a sound was just made. That's how fast it's happening. We can calculate the speed of light, which means that we move faster than light. Let that be known. How the fuck else you gonna calculate it? You had to go from here to there and be able to move faster than that to calculate how fast that thing was really going. Come on now, we come from a realm that is beyond thought. It's quicker than thought. I'm trying to tell you. Until you learn how to not think in English, that's the only time that sentence is gonna make sense to you. Until you learn how to not think in English. Because here's the thing, you don't even think in English, you just comprehend it as English. That's the thing, because there is a hidden language, a hidden vowel, and it's the h sound or the hu sound. All right, and then I got over 10 different videos y'all can pick from on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, now we're really getting into the meat and potatoes. All right, so Negro spirituals have proved to be the way to our spiritual liberation. Words are indeed spells, and I am determined to provide you with the whole story of who we are, why we are here, and why we need to declare our sovereignty. This is now a discussion for those who are ready to be initiated into the lunar mysteries. If you are reading this, this is for those who, when y'all get it, y'all, you know, it'll say, if you're reading this, you're already hip. So if y'all watching the video right now, y'all already hip. You already know what's up. That's why y'all on this right now. So shout out to y'all. All of the information that has been presented to you thus far was well known and at one point taught and protected within the temples of the priesthood of ancient Kemet. We have explored a very high level of science that serves as the blueprint for extraordinary accomplishments. These sciences are the very map detailing our expansion and liberation while geniusly concealing the secret of our creation. I will further provide information to show the magic within language and how we can use it to birth the 21st century Renaissance. All right, so now we're getting into Ebonics, right? Now this is the part where we start to have fun with it. All right. Embrace it, okay? You don't need to speak proper. What the fuck is speaking proper? All you need to do is make sure you have an understanding of the words you're utilizing. Don't matter how you're saying it. Really, as long as you know what you're doing, do you. Nobody can tell you the way your spell was supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? Peep game. I don't run up on somebody and tell them how to do their magic. That doesn't make sense, especially when we talk to motherfucker. So how you gonna teach it back to us? Sit your ass. All right, so Ebonics is a subset language that is comprised of American English and slang from the multiple communities of the African diaspora, a dialect from the hood. Ebony, what is ebony? Ebony is a black stone, or describing something that is colored vanta black. Black or Kim, because Kim means black earth or black land. So Ebonics is nothing more than black alchemy or black Kemet or the language of ebony or the language of Kemet. You know what I'm saying? It is the language of Kemet. It is the Duwat dialect. Now, like I said, metaphysics of the hood. We talking about the yoni. All right, make no mistake about it. Now we get to go in there and have some fun. All right, so we speak utilizing the breath. We understand that the yoni or the yin realm is synonymous with the color black and subconscious and all of that type of stuff, right? So it's time to let the pussy talk is what we y'all understand with the whole like when you put it in and then like talk back to y'all through the breath or through the air, y'all understand, and then we understand when we talking to God, it's a face-to-face combo with the yoni. Y'all hear it, y'all feel me, y'all see it. Okay? Make no mistake about it. Real men don't only eat, or sorry, real men don't only wear pink, but they eat pink too. Pink is the flavor. Solve the riddle. Yeah, yeah. Listen to that Beyonce joint again. Is everybody happy about her right now? Go listen to Blow. Go listen to Blow in the code, the riddle of the Sphinx that she shows to your ass in there. She show you right in there. She show you right in there. Sphinx is sphincter, right? You have different sphincters that correspond to every part of your body. I'm pretty sure on every chakra center, there's a sphincter. It seems as though we only worry about or focused on the ass, the glutes, and then there's a word that they call gluttony. Then they tell you, look at the 7 deadly sins. And then I'm pretty sure gluttony is one of them things, or greed. Ass shots, gluttony, greed. Y'all get it. Y'all see where the whole thing happening now. The whole thing is ass backwards is what I'm trying to say to y'all. Okay. So we got to be ass backwards to the ass backwardness, if that makes sense. We got to reverse the reversal. All right. But wouldn't that mean we just came back around to where we started at? Welcome back. A black stone, like I said, is ebony. You know what I'm saying? Black Kemet, language of ebony, all that kind of stuff. It is, like I said, it is safe to say that Ebonics is the official language of the underworld. Like Janelle Monáe said to y'all, she said, we gonna have a pussy ride, or we're gonna have to put him on a pussy diet. I was cool when she said that. I'm cool with that. Like, shout out to Mike. I'm cool with that, right? But what y'all really gotta understand, that song was coming through the pipeline around the same time when Ramaj did the whole springtime pussy thing. So what she was saying was, honor me now, learn how to take care of me now, nurture me now, right? That's what the feminine aspect is saying. You know what I'm saying? You got all this influx of this masculine energy, calm your hype ass down, learn how to speak to me, learn how to talk to me. I know you want it, but ask for it first. Ask for it first. They tell you when you speaking to Newt, you want something from her, ask her, because she is you. And the gods only deny or reject those that don't know that they're gods. How many times have Ramaj told y'all that when the ancestors come back, they only see light? So if you ain't gathered your light, they can't see your ass. What I'm trying to tell you is these words are light. They come from light. You understand what thoughts really are. Because we got to get into what light is. All of this positive space, a door, a car, a book, all of that shit, that's positive space. Everything else, everything that we're moving in is the negative space. Make that known. Everything we moving in is the negative space, or the darkness. It's not dark because it's evil. It's dark because your ass can't see it. That's why it's dark. Your ass can't see it. All right. Let me go to this next page. I got videos, KRS-One. Check out KRS-One talking about the power of writing. He talks about graffiti. He really goes in on that. He was talking about how it's so inherent in us to go to the wall to write. He said, if you gave a crayon or a pencil to a little kid, they're not going to write on a desk like the school system teaches us to do. They don't do that. They're going to go right to the wall. They're going to go right to the wall and write on the wall. They're going to literally write to the wall. They're writing letters to the wall. And then we get told if the walls could speak. All right. Y'all see the riddle now in that shit? They can speak to you, but you got to be able to put them in the correct sequence to figure out what the fuck happening, or else you're locked out, can't get in. Oh well, not my fault. All right, so in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. All that fancy shit is just saying you are that Word, right? And it manifests in everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Facts. In Hebrew, the phrase "in the beginning" is concealed within the word "bereshith," which is a phrase that means "in the beginning," with emphasis on the letter Beth, which is B. So we call it the alphabet. In Hebrew, they call it the Aleph Beth. Aleph is the letter A, essentially. It represents air, right? All right, so the book of Genesis, oh yeah, and Beth means house. So when they say she's a brick house, yeah, brick starts with a B. B is Beth. Beth means house. So yes, she's a brick house. Yes, she is. All right, so the book of Genesis conceals within it all the knowledge of how to build worlds and master that reality. In the beginning is a Masonic phrase alluding to where the point of the compass is placed so that the construction of the temple may begin. This is called the great work. In the beginning. So where am I putting this at? Oh, boom, started right there. That's the beginning. The beginning is the end. They show you this with the symbolism of Ouroboros. They showed you this in the symbolism of the Orin, which was in the never-ending story, the serpent that's biting his tail. You know what I'm saying? That number 8 being the caduceus rod and being synonymous with Mercury. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole thing with the chalice that's filled up with the mercurial liquid, which is the sexual energy, the sexual fluids. So when Ramon telling you, hey, yo, stop busting nuts, true ting, you feel me? That shit is literally coming from your brain, and you're pulling all the energy from your brain and then just shooting it out onto the earth, basically, or not really putting it into fertile lands. Like he said, if you're not trying to have a kid, why are you wasting it? If you really want to know how Michelangelo and all them niggas was doing what they was doing, they wasn't really having sex. Or if they was, they definitely wasn't just wasting it. They was able to channel that shit up. Mind you, every single one of them were initiates into the Egyptian mysteries, so they knew about this shit. You know what I'm saying? They was able to do that great work of sexual transmutation, tap into that creativity, get the whole bigger picture, and then create something that we now see as the Vitruvian man, or all this amazing architecture and shit. If y'all really want to know how to build the pyramids, learn how to build yourself up first. In the process of that, degree by degree, step by step, it'll be revealed to you how they built that shit. Till your ass get to the top. Facts. Anybody that is a Mason, anybody that knows about that, everything I just said is a fact. And I ain't never stepped foot in the lodge, but my birthday is 3/22, which is the skull and bones. So I kind of was birthed into this shit. They said, oh, left hand path of tantra. Oh, I'm left-handed. Like, what the fuck? I'm just looking at the shit like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on here? You know, I am literally aligned with the very symbolism that they told us to be afraid of. Aries is the Mindy's goat, Baphomet. You know what I'm saying? They tell you about the connection between Capricorn and Pisces. I'm sitting here like, yo, I definitely got 12th house in Cap. Wow. Definitely got Mercury in Pisces. I got Saturn in Pisces. I got fucking Mars in Pisces. I'm just looking at all of this that I've been given right here. All of this symbolism, all this occult symbolism is literally pointing to me. So what I had to do was not be scared of my own femininity, to embrace that shit, and then take in all of that knowledge and then be able to create amazing things. Like I said, I was just out in Canada being able to support myself and my wife. I'm proud of that. To get out of the country. You know what I'm saying? I worked to get, my passport and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that message to the divine masculine, that really spoke to me. And if y'all really serious about putting this work in, yo, that shit will speak to y'all too. Fellas out here, yo, these ladies need us, fam. They need us. You need you. You know what I'm saying? Look at the collective, but still focus on yourself. Look at the collective, but focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. It pays to be yourself, so invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the body is the temple, the microcosmic representation of the vast worlds we inhabit. Within this temple is the secret of immortality. That is the whole caduceus rod, or the staff of Hermes that you see Baphomet with. Because I'm going to break down Baphomet right now. When you see that symbolism, you see the goat, all right, Capricorn, right? Mastering over earth is what that's talking about. Like it says in Genesis, that Adam was given pretty much full reign over all the rest of the beasts in the field. Yeah, they're talking about mastering over your lower nature, which if you don't do that, it masters you. See, what they call this in Egypt would be you being devoured by Amen, which means you're consumed in the flames of your own animal passion. This is still the same shit that they're talking about in the devil card of Tarot, that everyone they pull it, oh my God. And like everyone been talking about lately now, they got them loose ass chains on. Damn sure, they got them loose chains. It don't matter if you got chains or not. If you're not aware of what's going on, that's why I said, make them aware. It said that the light was there with the darkness, but it comprehended it not. So they didn't even comprehend one another. Right here, we gotta merge these two things together. We gotta merge them together. You know what I'm saying? Read that Manic Trikana. Is that how you say it? Manic. Read that. My guy put in work on that. Because the minute I read it, when I was in tears, I was like, wow, this is really potent. Then I watched the Brother Panic video talking about Prince and the evolution and whatnot, or the revolution. All these messages that have been coming through have been perfectly aligned with what the fuck we doing. I've been paying attention. You had the solar eclipse webinar, right? And then you talked about Khan being the seed in the womb of the earth, running that, and then this whole Kanye thing sprouts. Like I said, in spring. So you talk about this in summertime, we go through the harsh ass winter, and then come back around for springtime. What is the most lit topic right now that everyone's fucking talking about? Right, the seed. If you're hip, like Sarah been talking about, you can read the code. You're getting a major upgrade right now. If you can't read the code, I'm gonna teach y'all how to read Braille. If you can't read the code, then you're gonna miss out on it. And then the other seed that could kind of be planted is based around the same bullshit as before. You know what I'm saying? The same old shit, the same old game you're doing again. Same old shit, same old. They're running this whole system based off of idolatry, if you actually understand what's happening. True idol worshiping is based on being attached to a certain thought or an idea. The idea is the idol, because ideas create eidolons. Eidolons are like, or egregors, stuff like that, are these thought forms. That's what, it's kind of like what people are talking about when they describe a psychic attack. That's kind of like what eidolons are and egregors are. Those that are in the lodges have been able to figure that science out, so they can give you something like a Yahweh or like a Jesus and something like that, and then create all this symbolism around it, right? Put on a whole show for your ass. They underneath the church doing whatever alchemy, whatever magic they're doing, whatever they get from that. They then, which is synonymous, by the way. Underground, that's synonymous with being in the subconscious, right? And then they come above ground on the stage or the altar, and they run their whole show based upon all the findings that they had got. You know what I'm saying? I heard on this live stream, brother. I'm out on this live stream. Oh, yeah. Right, no. Brother just came through. Yeah. By the way, yo, this is my brother, man. My brother Braxton out here. Definitely hit, bro.
Salute to the squad, man. Salute to the squad.
Like, so, yeah. So, yeah, we out here. Let me turn this light on. I actually might go sit down. Y'all don't mind me doing that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, fam. You good?
Yeah, definitely got to rearrange.
All right, while you doing that, I just want to see, I really hope y'all have been paying attention to what my dog has been saying here, because this whole time I just been over here dying laughing. Because this reminds me of a Bobby lecture, like 3,000%. Yo, this reminds me of Bobby to the point where it's not even funny, G. Like how you can go off topic and yet still it's on topic, and then come back to the topic and still. Yo, y'all really need to rewatch this video about 5 times in order to really catch everything he said, because all of it was really detailing and listing out the power that is within us as a Black community with the things that we do. You see what I'm saying? The fact that we call our neighborhoods the hood. You see what I'm saying? We're niggas, which is a derivative of the Nagas, the serpent, the cobra. You see what I'm saying? We're children of the serpent. No wonder we live under the hood. You see
There
what
you
I'm saying?
go.
Don't get it confused. We haven't stopped being the same magical niggas that we were back in Kemet, back in the Indus Kush Valley, back in, you know what I'm saying, South America with the Olmecs, back in the dragon dynasties of China. We're still those same people.
Same.
We just have to be able to decode the wording of it in order to see how we get this shit in. You see what I'm saying? He was even saying the drug talk is very much related to these alchemical terms. You're very right. You see what I'm saying? What do you go to the plug for? You see what I'm saying? You're trying to get a certain charge going in your mind to activate a certain energy. You see what I'm saying? That's the reason why we call him the plug. We're going to get a certain spiritual connection because that's what these substances open up. You see what I'm saying? So even the drug talk and the way we deal with these words in terms of the grams and the grimory and the grim reaper on that level, you see what I'm saying? It all relates to the same thing because when you use these substances, you're tapping into the post-death states. You see what I'm saying? That's why niggas can go in and come out with something a little different. That's why they drink the lean. They're trying to leave the linear realm and go into a realm of spirals where you lean. All right, I just wanted to point this all out real quick. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to. This is all right there, and he's saying it to you flat out. So I really want y'all to, like, after y'all hear this one time, sit on it, meditate on it, come back to it. Get the PowerPoint, get these notes. Yo, he done reference a million different things from a million different amazing occultists. You see what I'm saying? The reference list on this shit is wild right now. So I really want y'all to take this as a real course and a real study in what it is that your blackness is actually created. You see what I'm saying? What has come out of your chem? Because if chem is the black earth and we're talking about the fertility of the land, what has your blackness produced? You see what I'm saying? So definitely keep up with this nigga, man, because this shit right here is flames. I just had to stay silent just so he could really build on it. But this shit is on point. You see what I'm saying? You got this pinned down with the pen, if you know what I'm saying.
You just having fun with it, bro. Like I said, man, you definitely helped me out a whole lot on this journey. I gotta give you a big shout out because I'm not gonna lie. When you start talking about a lot of this occult shit, I didn't realize how deep the Christian programming really actually was. I didn't even realize that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started listening to, let me tell you about a quick little sidebar. Had this experience on LSD one of the times. I watched the Beyonce Blow video. I watched Pretty Hurts. I bought my eyes out to that. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Ladies, I'm with y'all. I feel y'all, okay? I feel y'all pain. Trust me. Okay. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me. What else did I watch? I watched a fuck ton of videos. I watched a lot of different videos to really figure out how they were running these rituals. It's based all on the symbolism. You just gotta, number one, be hip to what the symbolism is. Also, for instance, let me just go and give it to y'all like this right now. To deprogram this language, like to deprogram it out of our consciousness, the way that we were taught it, you have to understand how we were taught. The way we were taught English is based upon this. It's based upon speaking it, right? Once you have the sound of the speech, immediately they tell you to connect your sight or your vision to that sound. You don't even see the sound, but they are writing a symbol or a glyph, and they're saying this glyph represents the sound. What happens in English is this. You'll get, oh, M is just M. Can you draw M for me? Can anyone draw M? Say, yo, draw M. I'm gonna smack shit out you if you draw a fucking M on there. That is not what that is, okay? That's what we was taught it is. What we were taught it was. Be mindful of this. There's a particular way we were socially engineered And if you really are standing on top of this whole thing, you will understand it's an entire alchemical process. I was never understanding what they were saying about we created white folks as an alchemical, like this is an alchemical thing, like to show us what not to do. And all that. I was like, how the fuck? Then I started realizing, oh, it's within the language. It's literally within the language of how we did it. We gonna act like we bumped our fucking head. The Big Bang, when niggas bumped their head and forgot everything.
That's a fucking flame. That's a flame. Yo, because I was over here thinking, yo, the reason why we call them white is because white reflects all of these colors. So if we the colored people, that's our mirror. That's how we see ourselves. You see what I'm saying? When the moon is full, it's white, but that's because it's fully reflecting the light of the sun. But the melanated beings are the ones that are more in tune with the. Now I'm starting to see where that was flames. That was fire.
Bro, it just be in there, man. Like I said, yo, y'all watch these videos that I got in there, fam. The video explains it specifically for each thing. So if you want to know about geometry, I got videos specifically for geometry. I'm like the nigga in recess that opened his jacket up. He got all the different candies, and I'm the plug. I got y'all. I put in real work on it, bro. I put in over 50 hours. I can guarantee I put in over 50, over 60, over 70 fucking hours into this PowerPoint. Just searching through, making sure y'all got the sources so y'all can go check it yourself. So you can cross-reference, do all types of shit. You got the book list, everything. Everything there for y'all. Y'all don't really gotta do nothing but fucking click a button on some fucking Wall-E type shit. Just on the fucking laptop, on the ship, just cruising, just looking away. But make sure y'all cop this though, all right? This is gonna be the hottest thing coming out of the hood thus far. Fuck what they talking about.
I would like for this to be broken down into parts, my G. Like all right, this was enough for these niggas, bro. Because even what I heard, I'm still rewinding on. This is I definitely want to come back next week and do this again. I hope you're not fully done with your PowerPoint. You see what I'm saying? I want to come back to this next week and build on this. This has to be something we do continuously. Because just what you gave today, fucking beautiful. Can't even lie to you.
Oh yeah, I know we running about 2 hours.
Yeah, we running about 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? But this conversation needs to happen again. So whether we kind of run this shit again on Thursday, you see what I'm saying, and kind of bring that back if you have the time. You know what I'm saying? Or we can schedule this for the next two. Nah, we gotta bring this back because this right here was fucking perfect. You see what I'm saying? This conversation needs to be had, and we need to be able to see how the words alone are programming what we do in the hood. You see what I'm saying? Number one, the fact that you even call your significant loved ones and that you call them baby. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's my boy. I'm about to go to the crib. They're telling that's why you're a minority. They treat you like children and you act like children because you talk to yourself like children. Facts.
That's what a minority is. If you look up the legal definition of a minority is someone who is not capable to make their own decisions. So these niggas definitely are sunning the fuck out of you. Like he's babbling. Get him the fuck out of here. You don't know what he's saying. That's how I look to them. That you're babbling with these words because they got a whole different meaning.
This thing I can't even front.
You know what I'm saying? Give me like 10 more minutes, bro. So I want to make a point with something real quick because you brought up how they reflect us and whatnot. I find it very interesting because I have a whole thread about the demonization of the divine feminine, which I feel like that's gonna be more for when we do the next live stream on poverty consciousness, right? Because we understand that whole thing is dealing with the sexual energy. Then we can talk about the divine horde kind of in length, so we can really start to put the work in. Because I don't even know if people know about the harems or not. You know what I'm saying? What we now call in brothels were harems back in the day. All that burlesque shit. Let me tell you, these ladies. I didn't read this in no book. I just know that this is a truth. You can see it happen. These ladies were so hip with the tantra that she got a scarf. She don't even have to physically touch you. She can just throw the scarf around your ass and you falling out and shit. Y'all remember when Destiny's Child called up Terrence Howard and fucking whoever else in the BET Awards and did the Cater to You, and they gave the lap dance, and she pushed his head back, and nigga like he got baptized, and she said, "No, oh. Yeah, it's just like that. The energy is so potent. I don't even gotta actually touch you." Now you hear about them giving touchless orgasms. They got this interview in the Breakfast Club, the Punani Poets. Y'all check the Punani Poets out. Lit. All they talking about is the metaphysics of the hood. You know what I'm saying? Talking about really doing that real work to really sexually heal themselves so that we can sexually liberate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You know, my Lilith is in Aries, so I kind of had my work cut out for me. Not being afraid of the Mindy's goat. Like, real talk. That's what I came in on this whole thing as. You know what I'm saying? Shout out also to my aunt, because her birthday is today, and also my grandmother, who passed away when I was 10 years old. Her birthday is tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I was born, I'm a Pisces Aries cusp, you know what I'm saying? But I was a premium, so technically I really would be a Taurus as well. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to this whole thing that's going on right now. I see now me stepping more into who I am, exactly why this is happening. That's why I can sit up here and tell you. Like I said, I came to Vermont with this whole thing done already. The only thing I didn't have done was all the listing for it. Like, I had to put all the PowerPoint slides together and whatnot. I had all the notes for them. Just had to type it out. That's it. And I hit him over a month ago when I wasn't even in the country to do that. I already had it done. Already done. So of course I'm gonna be on next week, bro. Let me know when you try and do it. I'm with it. The last thing I want to bring up, like I was saying about learning how to deprogram from the way that we were taught English. If you look at a simple letter like L, right, which is an angle, which I didn't tell y'all, but Maui is Prometheus and is Lucifer. They said, oh, he stole the fire from the heavens. They're just talking about how he brought the sacred fire down to the gonad area. You know what I'm saying? And this is a process of descending so you can ascend again. The whole thing with Lucifer is talking about, I'm gonna rise to the highest. Yeah, that was just alchemy. I'm gonna go all the way down there as far out as I can, and I know I'm gonna be slingshot back the other way. I know. You know, this whole inception and black holes and all that type of, there's all of that in there. They're not talking about an actual being, but then again, they are talking about an actual being, and it's your black ass. But you scared of it, so what the fuck? But you take the L. We're being taught that this is just love, just the love sound, L sound, L and love. That's it. What our ancestors would have done, right? They would have drawn a sun over here, right? Then had the little rays shining down to the tip of this, which now makes an obelisk, right? And then this part here would be the shadow being casted because the sun is hitting it. This right here is the shadow. You feel me? That's how our ancestors would look at this language. That's how they would look at it. That's how they would read it. Not just, oh, this is just a sound. Think about it. It's telling you A, B. They're saying it to you and they're writing it at the same time. And they're not actually breaking down how to like look at this outside of the lens of linear. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at all these words as linear instead of just like, for instance, like the fact that a 4 is a door. I remember Seven Beaumont was like, 4 is a door. I was like, how is he getting that? How is 4 a door? And I looked at the door. I was like, oh, that's how it's a 4. Because to make a door, it's 4 sides, fam. Come on, or 4 corners, 4 points. Which in Hebrew, the letter Daleth is the doorway. That is Da, that is death, that is all of those different things. It is the 4th letter of the alphabet. And it's also the moon when it's half full, which is why you got the whole demon thing. Now, Min is another name for a lunar deity, right? Min is also these minutes that we talk about, but Min is also us. If you understand how in alchemy they tell you that the sexual great work happens in Yesod. Yesod is represents the moon. You know what I'm saying? So here you go with the whole thing of the divided man or the D-man, you know, the demon. that they're saying, which is coming straight out of the subconscious. Like you said, they're the masters of the subconscious realm. The word ain't really demon, is daemon. Y'all remember in Friday, daemon? Yeah, daemon, my nigga. That's what his name is. You know what I'm saying? The genius, the genie. Remember, I told